Before I start this video, there's something very important I want you guys to notice about this. Well, two things actually. One, the likes to dislike ratio is wild. 2,400 likes to 716 dislikes. It's not great. It's not great. But even crazier than any of that is this. Xbox with 5.56 million subscribers posts the Xbox Game Studios update on the official Xbox podcast 14 hours ago. Can't even get 60,000 views. I will repeat, 5.56 million subscribers. Can't get 60,000 views. For context, and this is not to like puff my chest out, this is just like how pathetic that is. You ready for this? Let me check. My Ubisoft video that I posted has almost 45,000 views in 5 hours. 5 hours ago. My Wonder Woman studio shutting down has almost 25,000 in 10 hours. So my videos today have more views than the Xbox official podcast. This is why they don't like us, by the way, in case anyone was wondering. Cypher says, you're relevant. They aren't. Well, that's my point, is like they don't know what to do. So they just like blanketly throw information out there and just praise their own shit like nothing stinks instead of being honest with their audience. So this is all just marketing puff pieces, and it's not even interesting or exciting. So nobody cares to listen to it. There's not even an angle of interest from this. It's just like, here's some generic game shit. And oh, by the way, we're going to delay stuff. Hope you like shit. Anyways, let's get into it. I have not listened to this yet. I just saw some of the transcripts. So this is all going to be new to me. I don't even know what this guy's voice sounds like.
E to M. Hello and welcome to the official Xbox podcast. I'm here with a very special guest today. I get the great pleasure of introducing you all to Craig Duncan, our new head of Xbox Game Studios. Welcome to Xbox Studio, not to be confused with your Xbox Game Studios.
So I'm in charge of this as well. Like, this is new. I didn't realize that.
We don't make games here. Good to see you too. Yes, we don't make games here. We do make games marketing here, as well as this lovely podcast. So yes, thank you so much for joining the podcast. I do want to start with kind of giving the community a little bit of context about your very storied history and career in games.
So this guy worked at Rare for like 13 years or so, if I recall correctly, something like that.
Been in games for 2 decades, so you've seen a lot. You've seen the ups and downs of the industry, the literal ups and downs.
Yeah.
You've also been lauded where you were studio head at Rare for many years. You've been lauded for your work there. The studio culture, obviously you shipped Rare Replay. You've been in charge of Sea of Thieves for its...
Rare Replay was such an incredible game that they had to like minimize it and try to get rid of it because they're like, oh shit, this is like too good of a game. There's too much stuff on it. Let's just like never print this again and make people buy things individually.
It's millions, aka 7 years that it's been ongoing now.
The gamers are getting too much value for their money in Rare Replay. Can't do that again. It's the same shit Nintendo pulls with their eShop. It's like, oh, we used to give away the ROMs for free as fun bonus add-ons to the games. Oh, wait, we can make money off those? Nope, don't attach them to any games anymore. Piecemeal them out and sell them all separately.
And you actually have been working with Ninja Theory and Compulsion before this new role, so you've been around the block, as they say.
Yeah, it's been a fun couple of decades, and yeah, I love what I do. Like, that's why I do what I do. Very, very lucky to see a bunch of the transition in the games industry. You know, joined back in
XIGN
2002. Worked for a European publisher called Codemasters. That was kind of my learn
Codemasters
how to
was
make
great
games,
back
made
in
a
the
bunch
day.
of different kind of games,
Mhm.
action games, sports games, then a little bit of a stint at Midway Games, a little bit of a stint at Sumo Digital, and then joined Rare to lead them, and I've seen Xbox evolve and change over, I guess, 14 years. I've been with Xbox now. And really, the part of the job I love more than anything is working with studios. I think everyone's role is important. I think my job as a leader is to help create the right environment for our teams to be successful, create a culture where they can support each other, help each other. Like, making games is really hard.
Mhm.
It's not any easier now than it was 20 years ago. In fact, it's harder than ever. Competition's higher, player expectations are higher. So
No, I disagree. I don't think competition is harder now. I think your challenge is the employees are sucky. Like, there's no talent because the well has been poisoned with DEI. And your challenge is overcoming the actual employees at the office. Whereas back in the day, it was just passionate employees that wanted to make the best product. Now it's people like wondering, it's like, oh, is there enough representation here? Do we have our right pronouns on this here? What kind of dresses should we be allowed to wear at the office before we take issue with the people that talk to us at the office? Like, this is what it's turned into in the game industry.
I think my job's about creating the culture and supporting our leaders, supporting our teams to do the very best work they can. Because I think if I do that, then hopefully that shows in the games we make and what goes to our players.
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, a favorite part of my job too, just getting to know all of our talent at our studios,
Absolutely.
like incredible talent. So an incredible job that you have in front of
By the way, like, when I talk shit about game companies, I want to be clear. There are great employees at a lot of these studios. Like, always. There always are. That is not where my issue lies. So I never really focus on that because those people are great. We hope they stay there and they're awesome. It's the problem people that need to get out of the industry. And they know who they are. And they're getting really upset that they're getting the microscope pointed on them right now.
you, but well suited to the role, obviously, since you've had a lot of that pedigree, which is very exciting. And I'm happy for the studios and how we're moving forward. So I'd love to talk about that as well. Like, we've got a big and exciting year ahead of us. We kicked off the year with Developer Direct.
Yep.
I want to talk about the games that were in Developer Direct because we've got a chance to talk about the release date, so we know what's coming, when it's coming. But we also just released Avowed, Obsidian's latest.
Oh, let's promote Avowed. Please buy this game, guys. Please play it. Game Pass, guys.
Latest game. So I've been spending the weekend playing that myself. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, I again,
Do you think she spent the weekend playing it, guys? Honestly.
and the lucky part of this job, spent time with all the teams, spent a bunch of time with the Obsidian team, and then really, like, I feel like I've been playing Avowed for like 3 or 4 months because we obviously look at what we're building, but just seeing the reaction of players, seeing the reviews, seeing just people share the same love for the Obsidian.
Okay, so right now they are knowingly lying because he's only talking about the positives. He's just like, oh, we're seeing the reactions and we're seeing the positive reviews and everyone's loving. Like, that's not true. You're lying to people by saying that.
Video team have put so much passion, Carrie, Fergus, all of the team, so much passion into the game, and yeah, it's a wonderful game. It's got wonderful story. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out.
He says, I tried Avowed
but
last
just seeing
night,
all the
it was
reviews,
garbage.
and it's
I'll
a real
re-download
personal
Oblivion at a
moment
better
for a team
time.
when you put a game out there.
Absolutely.
And just seeing the reactions and
That's
just
what
some
I was
of the
going to
hype
say. I'm
around
glad
the
you brought that
game.
up. It's not a challenging landscape right now. It's the employees aren't good enough to compete with games that came out over a decade ago, oftentimes over 2 decades ago. That's embarrassing.
And people really enjoying it. I think it's been great to see.
Yeah, I'm unfortunately only 5 hours in, so immediately when we wrap up, I'm going home and I'm playing some more.
Yep.
Wait, she says she played it over the weekend. Like, I thought that means like played it. 5 hours is not very much for an entire weekend of playing a game, but hey, call me crazy. But don't worry, guys, I don't play games.
This has been officially sanctioned. But even 5 hours in, there's so much depth and richness.
Yeah.
And we've had the pleasure of having Carrie Patel, game director, out on the podcast before. She's been on extended with me. So I've gotten to talk to her quite a bit. I love Carrie.
But
Shout out to Carrie.
by the way, Carrie, everyone shout out to Carrie. The information that I've heard from an insider speaking directly about Carrie is don't be surprised if she is no longer in the position that she is in the coming months. Don't be surprised. That's all.
Yeah, absolutely. And just Obsidian's like play the game your way.
Yes.
And just like avowed, sure, it's a game you can play in through the story and through the side quest, but there's actually quite a lot of the way you load out with your character that you can really play the game in very, very different ways. And I love that.
It's both the gameplay, but then it's also the exploration, which is really cool. I was just at DICE, and a bunch of my journalist friends were telling me like, "Oh my God, the verticality!" And it's like, yes, we've been basically talking about the verticality in the podcast with Carrie, and there is so much to do, and there is that sense of I see that thing in the distance, and I want to go engage with that thing, and there's something in that environment for you to do.
Yeah,
and that's like my kind of game, and been seeing a lot of good reviews out there.
So. Yeah, and just the story and the.
So her description of this game is it's a really fun game, and it's my kind of game because it's a really fun game. And that's why I like it. And verticality. It's fun. Dynamite drop in, Monty. Thanks for that review.
Set in and said, like, I super happy for Obsidian and
world-class storytellers. I'm loving Kai so far. He's like scratching my like New Yorker sarcasm itch. So it's personality-wise, we're a good fit.
Good. I love that.
Well, we also had a bunch of other games showcased in Developer Direct this year. First off, I just have to say I absolutely love working on that show. It's both because we get to like really embed with the studios, like at their studio. So all of the audience gets to see what is the studio environment and like what is the culture, how are people working together. And it's just such a beautiful storytelling format, I think.
I love the format, and I think and I think you said it well earlier, just
this is why they fail. This girl, I don't know who she is. So she's in charge of doing this podcast. She's not interesting at all. I don't know how else to say it, but like this is like we're 5 minutes in, almost 6 minutes in. And I'm like, what is this gobbledygook nonsense that she's been spewing this whole time? Like, what are we talking about? This is such a useless conversation right now. This is why nobody listens to you. Why would anyone care about what you're saying? Lots of Luck says they're both pretty boring, to be honest, or laugh my ass off. They are, but at least with this Craig Duncan guy, he's not a podcaster. He's like a studio worker. So I give him a break on that. This is not like his day job. The other girl, that's like, this is what she does. You would think that she would be like, I mean, I don't want to say like Joe Rogan-esque, but like this is Microsoft. Xbox Game Studios official Xbox podcast. This is supposedly, cream of the crop, top of the top. These are the best of the best people. This is what they found to lead it. This person? No, this ain't it.
Putting our talent, like we have so much talent across our studios, and just the more you put them, I always feel a little bit of a shill when I come and do this thing. It's like you don't really want to hear from me talking about our games. You want to hear from our team members, and Developer Direct is just a really great setting for them to talk about the games and the passion. And like South of Midnight was on there, which is obviously a team I've worked super closely with, and hearing them tell the story and the inspiration, and it's a great format.
Yeah, I love the Compulsion team. This is actually their third ever game, which is pretty incredible.
Yep. They
have a very unique style. If the community out there has played their previous 2 games as well, people were really celebrating the storytelling, the performances, and there's so much heart in that game.
So this is also really disingenuous, saying I love the Compulsion team, where their community manager is blocking people and is extremely anti-white, super racist, anti-white. Has not been fired, or as far as I can tell, disciplined at all, and still has a position. And they haven't said anything publicly or done anything publicly. It's the same problem you have with Matt Hansen with Obsidian. People don't want to support your game when you have people like this at your studio and you continue allowing them to do what they do. I don't want to contribute to that.
And I love to see like people enjoying that when they've
Yeah,
seen
it's and again, very, very lucky. I've been playing it a lot. The creatures, the storytelling, the Southern Gothic, like there's no game I can think of that's been in a setting that they've
the white vocal
realized.
coach. Don't get me started on
it's
that one.
Beautiful.
I made a whole video
beautiful.
on that.
Like I say, the storytelling, the creatures, the audio,
the music too.
like,
Yes, especially the music. You always, in every game, the music is definitely matching the tone, like, you know, the ambiance. Are you in a boss fight, or are you just in an environmental kind of a more peaceful setting? But the way that the music's like literally speaking to the bosses,
it's the storytelling.
It's their theme song. Exactly. I thought it was
incredible.
so clever. Yeah. So I was really happy to have that in our show. That one's coming out April 8th. We announced in Developer Direct. Fun fact, actually, before we talk about the other games, is art director Whitney Clayton, who opened the segment.
Yes. I'm not saying that women can't be in games, because there have been some extremely talented women in games. But I'm saying there needs to be a lot more focus on the women that they're allowing in games, because yikes.
For South of Midnight, she actually designed their whole studios too, the studio space itself, and it is gorgeous.
Like this girl doing the podcast right now strikes me as, oh, you're a girl? All right, you probably got the job. Do you like games? Sure. Okay, great. Then you can talk. Do you speak English? I mean, even if you don't, we can probably work with that. Yes, you do? Oh, you're hired. Like, that's what it kind of feels like with her.
So I joked with Guillaume, I want to steal her over and help design our office. He said, absolutely not. So that's not happening.
See, I went for a different thing. I'm like, hey, I can just be based in here, because it just feels so creative. And it's back to that. You want to be surrounded by the things that inspire you.
Who the heck cares about a studio appearance? Women care about a studio appearance. I can promise you, men don't give a shit. Like when I was at Sony Online Entertainment, it was just like, I don't even know. It was just dark, gloomy, musty carpets, a really small break room with a ping pong table. That was awesome, by the way. But it was just like it felt like a cave. It didn't feel like an office environment. It was awesome. Now they got all these like fucking like, oh, we need more light. We need more flowers and colors. It's like, what the fuck are we doing? Exactly, a man cave.
You feel the creativity when you're there.
Absolutely.
I very much love their space, and that's the beauty of Developer Direct. You get to see some of that in the environmental storytelling that we do in the show.
That's pretty base. Pronopout. Pronopout says, as a woman, I miss when games were not made by us. You said it, not me.
But we also had a very exciting reveal with Ninja Gaiden 4. So that's been in the works for some time. What is our backstory with that franchise?
Yeah, and I love the story behind that. So, not only Team Ninja, but along with Platinum Games. And, I know there was a lot of what a Platinum Games working on, really prestigious developer. Ninja Gaiden, I mean, it's a franchise that started on arcade and then, home computers, and I guess I think the original Nintendo, there was a Ninja Gaiden version, if my memory serves me correctly.
I need a second on that one, guys. I'm sorry. That one hit me really hard. I was not prepared for this guy to not even know if there was a Ninja Gaiden on Nintendo. Smash.exe has crashed. Did he really just say that? I Oh my god, that was oof. Oh, my head. That would hurt my head, guys. I don't know if I can recover from that one. Tourist alert, tourist alert. This guy, the craziest thing is, here we go. Hold on. This is this guy. We got Craig Duncan, head of Microsoft Game Studios. Bring it up center here. Leadership 2024 to present, 4 months. Yikes. Okay. Rare for 13 years. Developmental director at Sumo Digital for almost 2 years. Studio head at Midway Games for a year. Director of product development at Codemasters for 5 years. Codemasters for another year as a development manager. Damn, he came in as a development manager at Codemasters. That's coming in at a very high position from starting as a Recticel Automotive. Blake Brook, operations manager, is coming in as a manager position from that experience. What? Okay. So this guy's worked in gaming for 20 years and he didn't know there's a Ninja Gaiden. And I know people call it Gaiden. I call it Gaiden. So sue me. Don't sue me. I was kidding. Rectical? LMFAO Smash? No, it's not the Rectical. Tiger King says, what do you do at Rare? Make coffee? He definitely didn't play Ninja Gaiden on Nintendo, that's for sure. First off, I don't think Xbox when I think Ninja Gaiden. I think Nintendo still. I do. Comments are killing me, guys. Oh, wait. Is it muted? Is it? Oh, that's a boomer moment. Sorry. Boomer moment. I had the wrong screen up. Ah, I'm such an idiot. All right. There we go. I was just reading the chat too. I wasn't even listening, so I'll rewind it. I was just reading through everyone just making fun of me for mispronouncing Ninja Gaiden the whole time, so I wasn't even paying attention.
Just to bring a super up to date, highly polished, just seeing just the pace of combat, the excitement, the boss battle, like it's got so much, and I think fans are going to be blown away by the game. They're going to enjoy it. I actually love the shadow drop of Ninja Gaiden 2 as well.
Little bonus surprise, yes.
Yeah, and just the fact that we get to have those kind of surprises in the shows and people can go play it immediately on Game Pass is really great, and look forward to Ninja Gaiden 4 later this year.
Exactly, it's such a good way to kind of set it back up and scratch that nostalgia itch, and then remind the community.
Like with the Nintendo Direct, it's a long advertisement, but they make it so exciting and interesting and special. Where this just feels like a drawn out advertisement, like, hey, please play our games, and also Game Pass, guys. It's like, yeah, we get it, yeah. Oof, that's a bad pause.
About like the great prowess, and
it's been a while since the last one. So,
yes, exactly.
It
says shadow dropping
games back on people's radars and what was great about the franchise. But the publishing team really excited about it. Everything we've seen, like we think the game's shaping up really well. So
We have so much love for Ninja Gaiden internally. The producer on my team that
Can't
took on that
download
particular
Fable 1
segment and
or
flew to Japan
Fable
and worked with the
2 right
studio
now?
used
That's
to
kinda messed up.
back in the day work for IGN. 10 years ago was begging for the return of Ninja Gaiden.
She
It
did?
was their segment and
Okay.
flew to Japan and worked with the studio. Used to back in the day work for IGN. 10
Used to. So she did. I thought she was gonna say he did. So she got her start at IGN. Got it.
years ago was begging for the return of Ninja Gaiden.
Nice.
So it's very special for a lot of us
Yep.
internally at Xbox to be kind of bringing this out into the world with those teams and get the community as excited as we are.
Yeah,
So
it's a great franchise.
really special. Yes, absolutely. Well, we also had third-party friends show
We did.
up with a new studio, Sandfall Interactive. This is their first game that they're ever shipping together as a team, and it's Expedition 33.
This actually
It
looks really
looks
good.
gorgeous.
I'm excited to play this one.
Yes.
Like, and again, this is the bit where it's not part of my job, but it was the game in the show that I'm like, hey, I really like it. Yeah, JRPG
Yes.
plus unique setting plus new IP. Yeah, I'm really excited to play. I think I've seen as much as anyone else has seen, but
the only
also,
one you can say that with.
absolutely. But what I love about Developer Direct again is it's showcasing a new studio, a new IP, and I love that we can do that on the biggest stage and show that to the world. So
Yeah,
yeah.
and that team is really wonderful. I got to
You're
spend
getting
time with
quite a
them
roast
working
in
on
the
their
comments
segment
right now.
together. Their love for JRPGs is just
Yeah.
so apparent. They were so embedded in their segment. It was like such a pleasure to work with them and help
the
them
game
tell their
looks
story.
incredible.
Yes, absolutely. They really have their own like unique
Stop
positioning
looking
on
good,
it
start
and like
playing
really
it.
making
It's
it
a
their
very
own.
good-
It's very
agreed.
fun to learn from the behind the scenes, like just
But
how
if
much
this
they're putting
plays
into
half
this
as good as
game.
it
And
looks,
we announced
it's
it's
gonna
coming
be
out
awesome.
April 24th. So
Yes,
that's
very
yet
soon.
another
Yep.
another one to make for a busy
2
year.
months from yesterday.
And there was one
April
other game
24th.
in
That's
Developer Direct, of course,
awesome.
our big closer,
Here's the exclusive tier
our
2,
summer
37 away.
blockbuster,
Oh,
if you
damn.
will, for Doom: The Dark Ages,
Yep.
announced for May 15th. So very exciting to
This
have that one
game
close out the show.
looks
Yeah, and again,
awesome.
super excited for the game, the team, and just it's a
But
amazing
again,
franchise, very
hopefully it plays
storied
well.
franchise,
Yes.
Doom, and again, I don't want to speak for them, but I think it's going to be an amazing version of Doom, very different.
I love that gun that
just
takes the
Feels that
skull
way to
and
me
crushes
too.
it.
And
super cool.
Speaking of
Shells
it being a
with
storied franchise,
the
they did
skull
such a
out.
good job, both
What a
Hugo and
great
Marty,
idea.
just kind of drawing back on like the previous Dooms, the role that you played, and then what that is compared to Dark Ages and
Yeah.
that kind of like, big
Pretty much
mecha,
it's the
like
only game I'm looking
gobsmacking
forward to.
chaos that you're going to
Yep.
be finding
No, it's
yourself
good.
in. So
Expedition
definitely
33
that
looks
big
pretty good, but
summer blockbuster vibe for a May 15th release date. We did also previously announce that Doom was going to be coming to other platforms. And since then, we've had a bunch of other news about other games of ours coming to other platforms. Speaking of Bethesda, also Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
course.
And
I'm
brief
squeezing in and
sidebar
out that
for
one.
Indiana Jones that took home 3 awards from
Yeah,
DICE,
huge.
actually.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I had the
that's
pleasure
massive.
of congrats.
From DICE, that award show where Greg Miller was talking about how Elon Musk sucks. Yeah, okay. The same award show that you guys like sponsor, create, and pay for yourself and give yourself your own awards. That one? Sure, I'm sure these awards really hold a lot of weight. That's cool.
Congratulating Todd in person. Like the team was really excited. It was so great to see Machine Games on stage taking home 3 awards. So they won Adventure Game of the Year, Outstanding Achievement in Character, which of course went to Troy Baker for Indy himself, and Achievement in Story. All super well deserved.
Well deserved.
I loved playing that game. I think I devoured it in 2 days doing nothing else
Kira
with my
might have
life.
said
I think
the
it was
comment of the night. Kira said, "No game is worth $70 when you have a backlog to roll through." I mean, there's no comment reply I could have to that. That's just like, that's the problem these studios are dealing with right now.
spent hours, I would say.
Yeah, me
That's,
too.
by the way,
and again,
that's why they don't want you to own your games. That's why they don't want to make physical games anymore, because they understand if you are to have a backlog, they'd rather charge you for those games too, so that you at least are buying it every time. And then a new console comes out, buy it again. Oh, you want to upgrade? Oh, you can pay an upgrade fee for the games you already purchased last time. Oh, you want to keep doing this? Okay, you don't actually own it. It's just a digital license. Oh, you want to sell it back? Sorry, you can't do that. It's a digital product. They just want control. They want to make more money. It's all about greed and laziness. They don't want to make a game better than a game that came out 15 years ago. They want to take your ability away to have the games to play from 15 years ago that are better.
kind of got to play it pre-launch, but what they built was incredible and well deserving of all the awards.
Yeah, absolutely. Very happy for that team.
Yeah, me too.
But on that note, some of the games that are going to be coming to other platforms, there's some of our like long-standing kind of flagship series, if you will. So I'm just curious what you think the Xbox community should take away from the fact that we've made that decision to bring more games to more platforms.
Yeah, I think it's good for gamers. I think it's good for our studios. Our studios make amazing games, and we want to give those games the chance to reach the broadest audience possible.
Imagine me talking to you guys being like, hey guys, watch all my videos. My videos are great. I make amazing videos. Come watch all my videos. That's what this is.
So even if I think back to, when I had my studio head of Sea of Thieves hat on, having Sea of Thieves reach me on multiple platforms, being able to remove barriers so those players could play together. And then we announced Forza Horizon 5, which, one of the biggest games on Xbox.
So why are we still watching
I'm
this?
very biased,
It's
of course, because I know the
entertaining.
team super well.
Fucking
But,
fun at it.
arguably, I think probably one of the best racing games ever made.
I think a lot of people would agree with you.
I just think it's good for gamers. It's
They
good
say
to
a
have
lot of
our
nothing,
games reach
exactly
more
right.
places.
It's some of that quality of life element for gamers, but I'm also happy for our developers that get a chance to share their art with more people.
Everyone that makes a game wants it to reach as many players as possible.
Exactly.
So I love we can give that opportunity.
Absolutely. Well, there's one other highly anticipated game.
Her interview consists of talking about a topic and just nodding and saying absolutely, and then going to the next question. So a dynamite interview. I think they're gonna talk about Fable around.
Yes.
That people
Yeah.
would be very excited about that we haven't talked about yet, and that's Fable.
Yes.
So where are we at with Fable?
So I just want to start with really excited about progress, really excited where Playground are. We previously announced the date for Fable as 2025. We are actually going to give Fable more time, and it's going to ship in 2026 now. While I know that's not maybe the news people want to hear, what I want to assure people of is that it's definitely worth the wait.
He knows right now what he's saying is complete bullshit because they already lied and pushed it back once. And so he's just trying to play this off like it's no big deal. It's like, no, bro, this is a problem now. Like this is being pushed back again here.
Yeah, I have unequivocal confidence in the Playground team. If you think about their history and legacy for Forza Horizon, last two games critically acclaimed, 92 Metacritic, award-winning, beautiful, played great, and just what they're bringing to Fable as a franchise. Just think of the visuals of what you expect of Playground games.
Modifier says
Plus,
this is a snore.
amazing gameplay, British humor, Playground's version of Albion, so inspired by what's gone
really
before with the franchise, but their take.
We're almost done. We're almost done,
quite
guys.
frankly, the most beautifully realized version of Albion you've ever seen. So really excited about.
Only thing more boring than this interview is about.
The plans, and really excited about the future, and I want the community to understand that we do these things for the best of the games and the teams, and ultimately that results in the best games.
The problem is, and it goes back to the most basic thing we keep talking about, is the employees that you hire are not qualified to put the job done that they were hired to do, which is why these delays keep coming in. It really is as simple as that.
Or the best game for the community.
And I think from your visit, you actually managed to bring over some footage for us to see some of those beautiful visuals as well.
Yeah, so I think we're going to show some of the footage. This isn't a trailer or anything. We felt as we were going to talk about the game. It was important to show some of the things.
Yeah, we get to see some of these scenes,
like
kind of both just walking through environments where inevitably there'll be some combat, some city walking scenes, just really seeing how the beautiful variety in environments that are in the game.
Yeah, and I've played some aspects of it that are in the city-based, and again, I'm trying to be very careful that I don't spoil anything. Ralph and the team won't forgive me if I spoil something, but I played some of the city elements, I played some of the quests, I played some of the combat, I played a boss battle, I've used magic. Like it felt amazing. And I had a great time. And again, I remember the originals.
Good, but why the main protagonist a woman? Why does that keep happening? South of Midnight, Fable, you go down the list, it's like this There's an awful lot of female main protagonists in these games these days. Ghost of Yotei.
Played that in gameplay.
Mhm.
I'm not going to spoil the backstory of what's going on.
A Naughty Dog game that I already forgot about. Intergalactic.
But as you can see,
Interstellar, whatever.
genuinely beautiful. Plays
Even just
great,
seeing
feels
like
great.
the cinematics and then cutting to the actual
Tiger
like
King, I
fight
take-
over here. It's gorgeous.
I take exception to that. He might play less games than me. I take exception to that.
Just I can barely tell the difference, which is
Yeah.
such a seamless transition.
Yeah, it's very real. Everything you're seeing here is very playable. I've seen a bunch more than that. I'm very excited. So take my word for it. But hopefully, what the team can see here is enough to build excitement.
I love the little details. It's great to see how much emphasis is being put into all of that.
Yeah, and there's no bigger fans of Fable as a franchise as the Playground team that are making it. So I think it's a really fine balance between what are the game tenets that are true to Fable and what's a modern day reimagining of what is Playground Games version of Fable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. The modern retelling of Fable. I'm very excited myself. I've been a massive Fable player since day one, so I'm excited for 2026.
Yeah.
Prove it. I've been a massive Fable player since day one. Prove it. Say anything about the game. Like literally anything. I don't even care.
All right, well, that's all the news that we have for this particular episode and for what's coming up for the rest of the year. But before we send you back off to go,
be like a child if that was true, because the first Fables came out a long time ago, like what 99? Was it 2000, 2001? The first Fable on Xbox. Was it 99? I don't remember. But yeah, she was like what, 2 years old. 5 years old, if she was even born yet.
We'll hang out with other studios and see all of their games and tell me about all the things that you're seeing there. I would just love to know, like, what are you playing? What are you looking forward to the rest of the year? Maybe something non-Xbox Studios.
Yeah, it's kind of tricky because this job is full on, like as you would imagine. And so I spend a lot of time. So obviously I'm over in Redmond this week. I've got a Steam Deck that's full of XGS games. So I spend a lot of our time playing our own games. We've got a bunch of stuff we haven't announced. So obviously I
wonder, I know Microsoft is in Washington as well. I believe they're in Redmond, but I know Nintendo of America is in Redmond. So I do wonder if there's going to be more partnerships coming up with Nintendo. I mean, they're literally right next door to each other. And I know Microsoft wants to be everywhere these days. So I wonder if that was like a little thing you let slip right there.
Bunch of time with that. I think, as we've talked about earlier, I think Expedition 33, I think is something I'm looking forward to playing. Was cool.
No, Nintendo of America is Redmond, Washington. The Nintendo store is New York City. There's one of them in New York City.
See the Switch 2 announcement. So always curious and excited about what Nintendo do.
Oh, see, there he goes talking about Switch 2. Okay, so my suspicions are confirmed that something is going on with Nintendo with them. Clearly. I'm very curious to see what they do with that. And I wonder if Microsoft is even going to bother with another console, or if they're just out of the whole console race at this point, and they're just going to go to PC and then be third party for Nintendo. I wonder. Halo on Switch 2 would be amazing, because I do have Halo on my Steam Deck and it plays okay enough, but it's very hiccupy, so it's not ideal.
So I think that will be cool. But yeah, just we have lots going on. So I try and spend as much time as I can playing our own games. So
we'll call it research.
It's
fun research.
It is fun research.
That's me playing Avowed later.
That's the best part of the job.
Continuing my journey. Yes, exactly.
I don't believe her.
Well, thank you so much for coming by. I hope we have you again here at Xbox Studio, not to be confused with Xbox Game Studios, which
That
are
is confusing.
many
Yep.
locations. We are but one location here in Redmond as well. Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing more the rest of the year. And I hope everyone else at home watching is similarly excited. And we'll see you at the next show.
She seems really nervous. For someone that does this as like a full-time job, she seems like really overwhelmed. Like she's in a position that she shouldn't be in type thing. That was the vibe I got from that. She's like, wow, what a great talk. Can't wait to do more research and play Avowed and other random things that I'm supposed to say to promote these games that I work at. That was pretty brutal to get through, guys. Thank you for hanging out with me. We got 727 people still in here suffering through that. My goodness.